Hey, Marie. Hey, Jack. Welcome, everybody, as you're piling in here today. Um, kind of a cold one here up in New England. A little bit of snow, a little bit of cold rain, all the above. Typical March day, frankly. Blessings to you all. I hope you had a good day. I hope it's been a good experience today. I hope your families are well. I hope that the day has been as good as it can be, right? Um, It's certainly a challenging time, but at the same time, it's a joyful time, and it's such an opportunity to care and share with one another. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to start now. So welcome to you all who've at least joined in so far. Some of you I've known a long time. Some of you a shorter time. So welcome today. So I want to talk. The theme today is really kind of a combination of thoughts, but mostly about our attitudes towards what's happening in our world, our attitudes about illness, our attitudes about disease, dis-ease, to be more specific, um, our attitudes about the traditions of the past, which actually, a lot of them kind of basically speak to this whole idea of getting our mind straight and getting our mind right and getting those minds and those mindsets in such a place where we can move beyond what we're actually seeing in this world and get closer to what's happening inside, because it's really about what's happening within that allows us um, to take advantage of how to express that without. We don't have it in here. It's going to be really hard to carry it out there. And I was looking through a variety of traditions today. We have our own Christian traditions, and Jesus. I love Jesus. I mean, I'm just not going to ignore that. Jesus was one of those like quintessential guys that got it really together. He abandoned traditions. He abandoned all the stuff that he learned in his synagogue, and he said, "Let's get to the heart of the matter about how to connect inside and how to connect with others and how to connect with God." And in the Gospel of Matthew, he writes about the Beatitudes, which I just love because basically he escapes all the stuff and gets right to the heart of the matter. So if you haven't heard them in a while, you can go to Matthew 5 and find them, but I'm just going to read them here. But I'm also going to tell you about some of the other traditions which parallel these, which you may find surprising. So, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those which they who do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are those which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those when men revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for your reward is great in heaven. What I love about the Beatitudes is this set of it's not just it's not just religious gobbledygook. It's it's a way to find the key to go within, and when we can go within, we can solve a lot of problems in our own individual lives, and God knows how many problems we can solve in the world around us if we're willing to kind of step out there and actually lead. Um, and there's other traditions though, okay? So listen to these traditions that are these paths that come out of Buddhism, which actually I didn't know until very recently. So there's 8 pillars in Buddhism, okay? There's the right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right concentration, right mindfulness. Okay. So, I got a feeling that, Jesus spent, actually, I think I know this for real. Jesus didn't just hang out in Palestine for 30 years. He went off to the Far East. He followed the Silk Trade. He went into India, he went into Pakistan, he met with gurus, he met with yogis, he figured it out and he brought it back because he knew that he had to take something to people and he had to bring them a sense of joy, a sense of lightness, a sense of mindfulness, a sense of peace, a sense of calm. So, and I want to tell you that this follows another traditions. We have the Ten Commandments, which pretty much do the same thing. The first four kind of have to do with how we treat God, and the next six tell us how we have to treat each other. All very important parts of being mindful and being joyful about who we are and the carriers of God within, right? Now, here's another one that I just loved today, which I hadn't really spent much time thinking about. The Native American Indians had 10 tenets to live by. And maybe we've seen Dances with Wolves and we watched some other things and we thought about the pollen path and what happens to the Aboriginal Indians in the American West. But here are these. One, care for the earth. Duh. Two, honor all relations. Three, open your heart and soul to the Great Spirit. Right? All life is sacred. Four, treat all beings with respect. Take from earth only what is needed, nothing more. Do what needs to be done for the good of all. Give constant thanks to the Great Spirit for each new day. Speak the truth, but only of the good in others. Follow the rhythms of nature. Rise with the sun in the morning and at night. Enjoy life's journey, but leave no tracks. I mean, when you think about all of these tenets, we just kind of rifled through Christianity 101, Judaism 101, Buddhism 101, American Indian 101. Those are just four. I didn't even go into Hinduism, some of the other ones that basically followed the same path. But basically, what we're talking about is within, going within, and the attitude it takes to go within that place. Because we can't take anything to the world outside of us that we don't already have inside. Now think about that in terms of the crisis that we have right now. The great law of the universe is that what you think in your mind, you will create in your experience. Think about that. All the dis-ease that we find, all the illness that's flying around. Part of me wants to say that, yeah, it's a virus, it's bad, right? And it's infecting an awful lot of people. But I also wonder, on some level, whether or not we have the capacity to keep it away from us if our hearts and our minds and our souls are right. Now, that's my own opinion. Um, I know that people are susceptible. I know that this stuff is vicious. I know it's contagious. I get all that. But maybe, just maybe, if we're really solid in here, it's not going to get us. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could end up with it next week for all I know. But what I am thinking about is that so much of our God self is in our action and in our attention and attention to how we are inside. And that will also allow us to be spiritual. It will allow us to be prayerful. It will allow us to be thoughtful and kind and generous and joyful, even amidst, yeah, flying snow, which nobody really wants to see right now, but actually I quite enjoy. In fact, I will tell you this. I had a lot of fun walking outside, looking outside today at all the robins running around. I don't know what they eat in the grass right now, but I find it very joyful to watch them bounce around, even amidst the snow that they're scratching through to try to find what they're looking for. Pretty cool stuff. So let's go into a bit of a meditation right now. It's 7:08. And what we want to talk about or what we want to think about is this sort of concept of the attitude. So, I'm downstairs in a basement with the curtains behind me. It's a little bit, um, I don't know, doesn't look great, but it's quiet and it's content and it's solid. It's solid. I can actually sit up straight and I can put my feet on the ground. I can take a breath and I can relax. So try and do that wherever you are, and let's close our eyes and let's see if we can't, collect ourselves. Take a deep breath. So whatever you believe in, Whether you believe in Jesus, whether you believe in God, Yahweh, whether you believe in Buddha, whether you believe in the Gaia spirit of the earth, whatever it may be, the Buddha, Krishna, all the Hindu gods, bring them all into the center of your focus right now and feel that they are surrounding you and embracing you, whoever that may be. I honor that Godhead, that deity. And just let the body relax. You know, we've been filled with the news of the day, and a lot of it's just uncomfortable, and a lot of it just spurs all kinds of reactivity. Quiet the mind, quiet your soul, temper the desire and the feeling that we have to actually get up and do something right now. Hold back on those feelings of restlessness, those feelings that irritate us, those things that distract us from being comfortable with who we are in our mind. Because the mind is a really dangerous place. And what these traditions are trying to do is to get us out of ourselves and to have us think of the bigger picture, the bigger connection with God, whoever that may be. And I am so thrilled to have found some of these other resources. Just today, I was thinking about these things, and I'm so amazed, really, that every single religious tradition out there, whether you believe in the religions or not, a religion, by the way, is just a system of belief. It's just a system. It doesn't mean that it's right or wrong and that it's absolute or certain. It just means that it's a system that allows us to follow something to help us to connect closer to God. So just relax and let that spirit of mindfulness just start to ease. Think of the falling snow today and how it just landed wherever it wanted to land. It wasn't being pushed by anything. It wasn't being pulled this way or pulled that way. It just gently fell onto the ground. And it then melted. For a lot of us, it just melted and evaporated and melted and turned into moisture, which is eventually going to help things grow and maybe take our minds off of things in a brand new way. To help the daffodils and the crocuses and the lilies and the lilacs and the azaleas and the rhododendrons and the laurel and the myrtle and everything grow into flower. Just relax. All is going to be well. We don't always know how. We don't always know when. You know, there's an awful lot out there saying we got to get back into motion again and get back into the economy. We got to crank things up again. And I'm thinking, God, if we all just unplugged and were allowed to unplug, maybe what happens within all of us can therefore impact the world outside of us in a brand new way. I mean, this is an opportunity. I've said it before. It's a chance to re-energize and re-engage and reconnect to the God of our making. And then how we articulate that and process that so that we can impact the lives of those around us. God, it feels good. It just feels right. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I think this is such a chance now to open these hearts up that have been closed for so long. You know, where we have it all under wraps, where we have it all in our control, and everything looks bright and shiny on the outside, but deep inside, we're just lonely as hell. What a chance. What a chance to be an Aboriginal American. What a chance to be a Buddhist. What a chance to be a Jew. What a chance to be a Christian. What a chance to be a Muslim. What a chance to live out these basic tenets, which are in every tradition, to escape the mind and get into the heart. Grant us that ability to drop the rock, as it's said in some of our other 12-step traditions, to let go, to feel God's Spirit move us as opposed to us moving us. Chance to pull back, chance to find gratitude, a chance to think through a different set of attitudes, a different lens, if you will, a different way of looking at life. Help us to do that. Help us to find that calm. Feel it. Let it guide us. Let it move us. I mean, what if, as I said a few days ago, what if we were able to just be moved by our spiritual underpinnings, the pinions that allow our wings to fly? What if? How different would the world be? And when you stop to think about it, all of these traditions are trying to tell us the same gosh darn thing. Trying to penetrate the defensive heads that we have, the know-it-allness that goes on. Help us to be open to that reality. Guide us to be that simple, to be that clear, to be that aware, and to be that accepting. Oh man, allow us to be that accepting. To not try to control it all, but to relax in the pleasure and the joy of how to look at this differently. It may feel like a tall order in the scope of having MSNBC all the time, or CNN on all the time, or even the Weather Channel on all the time. Because all of those mediums are just begging us to be distracted, to help us to find the poise, find the balance, find the faith, find the life that we've been led to this point to live deeply, thoughtfully, with kindness, with generosity, and maybe with a little bit of risk as we reach out and help a lot of people who are just feeling confined right now. But I gotta tell you, in the last few days, I'm not the only one doing this kind of work. There are hundreds of people out there offering the world opportunities to open up, to see the opportunity here. And they range everywhere from Eckhart Tolle to Marianne Williamson. I throw myself in the middle there, but it's such an opportunity to really, really pay attention to what matters. So take a deep breath, find yourself, and I'm going to ask the God of our understanding to help us find a path, whether it's through these great traditions of old and make them new again in our lives, or whether it's just applying them in our lives so that we don't feel so alone, so that we can recognize that these are the things that helped others in our past build and surmount obstacles in their paths as we are experiencing now. So God bless us and keep us and inspire us and move us to see the deeper understanding of who we are as a human species, and to work hard at finding this mindlessness so that we can get into the heart of the matter and be full of mindfulness, which involves a huge part of what it means to be all of these things: open and accepting and loving human beings toward ourselves and towards those around us. We ask these things in God's many names. Amen. So, thank you all for joining tonight. We're going to continue doing this on a weekly basis. I feel like it's my renewed ministry in many ways. I want to bring a little peace and a little joy to all of my friends out there, and all my colleagues, actually, and those who I've been blessed to have touched over the years. So have a great night. Be joyful. Be mindful. And take a look at some of these other traditions. Again, the Beatitudes, Matthew 5, the Commandments, the 10 Commandments, always worth a read. The Native American Commandments and the 8 tenets of Buddhism. You'll find that they all pretty much walk in the same circles. And in fact, they're kind of concentric in many ways. All right. Blessings to you all. Good night.